Hello everyone, we're at Pocket Gamer Connects 2023 here in London. I'm Dylan from HyprChats and I'm joined by Anderson from MY.GAMES. Anderson, welcome.
Dylan, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. MY.GAMES being in London is fantastic, and this event, Pocket Gamer Connects, is a really vibrant and energetic event with literally thousands of attendees. So I'm hoping I've got a big bunch of follow-ups to do after this 2 days of excitement.
Absolutely, that's the whole point of these things, right? To kick things off, maybe you could tell the camera, a little bit more about yourself, your role, and MY.GAMES as a whole.
Sure. So I'm working in the business development department. I'm a director of BD coming out of our Amsterdam office, and I'm looking at partnerships with game studios that are developing great content for us to be able to publish, looking for other investments in industries that support and help the game industry. So middleware things and different kind of analytics tools and stuff like that. We have a very broad investment portfolio, so we like to look at the ways that we can increase the impact of our games overall.
Great. Well, being such a large game publisher in this space, between mobile, console, PC, what are some things that you think MY.GAMES has done well over the last few years?
Well, I think, I've only been at MY.GAMES now for a bit over a year. So I joined at the end of 2021. And to be very honest, I think the whole world has faced some big challenges the last couple of years. I think we've proven at MY.GAMES that we're a very agile company and we're able to respond to the challenges that are thrown up at us. Just a great example of that is because of COVID. We had to implement a company-wide policy where people are able to work remotely, and that's actually increased massive amounts of productivity. Surprise, like opposite to what people expected.
Right.
So that's been a really positive effect of showing how we can develop and innovate as a company our own internal processes. And so these days, we have teams in Turkey, teams in Amsterdam, teams in Cyprus, and they're all working remotely together to, have successful products that we launch and release. So that's one of the things that I think MY.GAMES does well. We've been very much challenged in the market. There's a lot of competition out there. Like we're very famous for shooter games, and there's a lot of different shooter games out there, new ones being released all the time. So, we also do something, working with our community very well, keeping our players engaged and having an open dialogue with them is something that I think MY.GAMES does particularly well. Also, as the BD member of the team, I think we do pretty good on scouting stuff too. Yeah. And our sort of philosophy towards investment in gaming products is a broad one. We want to see really good quality games that are highly engaging, that bring an audience back time and time again. But the only way we can do that is by getting out there with the BD team and meeting the people at the different conferences and events globally to be able to find the best talent and the best content to come to our MY.GAMES players.
Absolutely. So Anderson, over the last few years, there's been a ton of M&A activity in our industry. MY.GAMES has been at the forefront. So typically when being a BD person, when you're scouting titles and studios and developers to work with, typically what qualities are you looking for?
Well, we kind of take it from our founder's vision, Vladimir Nikolsky, of having kind of inclusivity and innovation is a really key aspect to what we look at for the positive qualities in the studios we want to invest in. We really believe that the games themselves have to be strong and stand on their own 2 feet. That's the first, this non-negotiable, let's say. Yeah. After that, though, then it becomes the team. And the team itself has to be really motivated, very committed, really, in love with their product, I think is a good quality to feel that when you have a first meeting with them. And then besides that, as I mentioned, we want to see innovation. We want to see things that are new. There's a lot of derivative content out there in the games market, as you have probably played stuff that you go, this looks like my old favorite game or whatever. Yeah. But, we want to find things that are, maybe a mashup of 2 different styles. And, we're very open to innovation and hearing what the developers of the next big hit games are willing to show us, right? Yeah. So that's what excites me. So we're also looking for teams that are prepared to, find new gameplay mechanics and new systems to make them really stand out and ahead of the competition out there. Because as you know, it's a very competitive market and there's a lot of talented people who can make beautiful looking games, but if they're not engaging and they're not something that people find interesting and a new discovery, they're going to lose those players quickly. So that's a very key element for us.
Absolutely. So Anderson, you mentioned that shooters are at the forefront of the titles that you've historically been working on. Are there any other genres that your team is looking to onboard this year and have in the portfolio?
Specifically in mobile? Or?
Mobile, and I mean, anything you're willing to share.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I mean, look, one of the key pillars for us is competitive multiplayer. We really like to be in the free-to-play space generally. We find that business model works well for us. And with the infrastructure we have built up at MY.GAMES, with our monetization teams, live operation teams, all this kind of, systems that and robust systems that are in place over 20 years of our company's existence, we can then leverage them into the new games that we bring on board to make them scale faster. So yeah, I think, we already internally, we have 12 studios that we own 100%. They make mobile games, they make PC games, they make games for Nintendo Switch. But what we really see though is that they can sort of focus on their genre of expertise themselves. So when we're looking to add to that mix, we want to have something that's not necessarily the same, but maybe complementary. But one of the key aspects though, the key functions is the competitive multiplayer, because that works so well in free-to-play.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're to the more fun stuff. We were talking industry and sort of forward-looking stuff. Do you have a favorite title within MY.GAMES?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, my background, I come from a mobile background, so I spent my formative years in the game industry at Sony Ericsson.
Oh wow!
I was a key part of the Xperia Play, mobile phone, which was dedicated, the first Android device with a gamepad. Yeah. So I've loved mobile gaming since smartphones, right? Working at MY.GAMES is so exciting because we've got a really top mobile game called Rush Royale. It's a real twist on tower defense and really beautiful graphics, very colorful, very engaging, and the business numbers show that it's very engaging with the audience too. So that's a definite highlight for me, Rush Royale. But then I also have one that I really love because it's so innovative. It's it's a co-op shooter game called Tactical, and man, it's so much fun to play because of the actual kind of perspective that you have. It's sort of third person, but it's in a slightly different angle. So it's something like you've never seen before. If you like shooter games, please trust me, check this out.
Oh, absolutely.
Tactical.
I played by Panzer Dog. I know that.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
But they're my two favorites.
There you go.
But we have a whole new bunch of mobile games coming out in 2023 as well. I can't give you any information on that though. I'd have to kill you, and I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, there's going to be some exciting releases from MY.GAMES and our studios in 23 in mobile specifically.
Absolutely. All right, to round us out here, I know there's been a ton of changes at your organization over the last few months. What can we look forward to from MY.GAMES in 2023? Look,
2023 is an exciting time for MY.GAMES. We're starting a whole new chapter. We've got some very ambitious plans in terms of the kind of targets we've set ourselves of new games to bring on board. We know our roadmap of amazing titles that are going to be announced this year and launched this year onto, as I mentioned earlier, mobile and console and PC. So there's a lot of exciting things to look out for coming from us in 2023 for sure. On more internal type things, we're very focused on setting up some international hubs for our staff. We have a company-wide remote working policy. So, if you're thinking about a job in game development and want to work remote, come and check out our careers page because we're always looking for talent. But quite seriously, we're looking into different regions where we can actually make an impact. And, we think that there's big opportunities in Latin America, big opportunities in India, Indonesia, Turkey as well. We think of some markets that we can really have a big impact in as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, 2023. Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. A big year to come.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
a
so
real
much.
pleasure to be here. And thanks for your time.
Keep in touch and stay tuned. Thank you everyone for watching.